They've faced scandals, heartbreak, and public scrutiny, but somehow they're still standing strong. Lee Byung-hun and Lee Min-jung's love story is one of K-entertainment's most dramatic sagas, filled with shocking twists, tearful separations, and an unbreakable bond that defied the odds. How did they survive the storms that could have torn them apart and live a happy life today? Lee Byung-hun and Lee Min-jung's love story had a rather cinematic beginning, one that started early but took years to fully come together. The two first met in 2006 when Lee Byung-hun was already one of Korea's biggest stars. Meanwhile, Lee Min-jung was just beginning to make her mark in the industry, a promising newcomer still finding her way. Before meeting Min-jung, Byung-hun was in a relationship with Song Hye-kyo. In the early 2000s, the two starred together in the hit drama All In, and their sizzling on-screen chemistry quickly spilled over into real life. Their relationship was the talk of the town, with whispers of an engagement even making the rounds. But as much as the public wanted to believe in their fairy tale romance, reality had other plans. By May 2004, just a little over a year after going public, the couple shocked everyone by announcing their breakup. After his split with Hye-kyo, Lee Byung-hun poured himself into his work. It was during this time, in 2006, that he crossed paths with Lee Min-jung through mutual friends. There was an undeniable spark between them, and they gave romance a shot. But as often happens in the world of showbiz, their careers took them in different directions. Byung-hun was already a star and could afford to spend time in the relationship. On the other hand, Min-jung was working hard to establish herself as more than just a rising star. With their lives moving at full speed, finding time for each other became increasingly difficult. Talking about their initial split during an interview, Byung-hun said, "Lee Min-jung was just starting to get some work, and I was working all the time. It was really difficult to find time to meet, so we broke up." Lee Min-jung's version of the story made their romance feel even more like a classic K-drama. She explained that at the time, they were at completely different stages in their careers, which played a huge role in their decision to part ways. While Lee Byung-hun was already an established star, juggling major projects left and right, she was still working her way up in the industry, trying to make a name for herself. The timing just wasn't right. It wasn't about a lack of feelings or some dramatic fallout, it was just life pulling them in different directions. But, as we all know, love has a funny way of working things out. In 2012, Byung-hun and Lee Min-jung found their way back to each other in a way that felt straight out of a movie. After wrapping up filming for G.I. Joe: Retaliation, Lee Byung-hun reached out to Lee Min-jung. Maybe it was the long months apart, or maybe he finally realized she was the one who got away. Whatever it was, one call led to another, and before they knew it, they were back together. This time, they had both grown, learned from the past, and understood that what they had was worth fighting for. After months of speculation, the couple finally put the rumors to rest in 2013 by announcing their wedding plans. On August 10th, 2013, they tied the knot in a lavish ceremony at the Grand Hyatt Seoul, surrounded by family, friends, and some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry. It was the perfect wedding. Elegant, glamorous, and full of love. However, as much as their reunion seemed like the perfect second chance, their relationship would soon be tested in ways they never expected. The road ahead wouldn't be smooth, and they were about to face challenges that could either break them apart for good or prove just how strong their love really was. Lee Byung-hun's career has been a roller coaster, one filled with incredible performances, massive success, and, let's be honest, some pretty scandalous moments. He is a powerhouse of talent, no doubt about that, but even the biggest stars aren't immune to controversy, and Lee Byung-hun has had his fair share of very public missteps. Back in 2009, things got messy when Lee Byung-hun's Canadian ex-girlfriend, Kwon Mi-yeon, came out swinging with a lawsuit. She claimed that he had led her on, filling her head with promises of marriage and a future together, only to discard her like she was nothing. To make matters worse, she also accused him of gambling, throwing fuel onto an already burning fire. Naturally, his management team wasn't having it. They clapped back immediately, calling her accusations nothing more than a bitter attempt at revenge after their breakup. And somehow, despite all the headlines and drama, Byung-hun managed to walk away from the situation relatively unscathed. His career took a few hits, but nothing he couldn't recover from. But then came the major scandal, the one that almost burned everything to the ground, including his marriage. Fast forward to August 2014, just a year after his picture-perfect wedding to Min-jung, and things took a turn for the worse. Out of nowhere, Byung-hun went to the police with a shocking revelation. He was being blackmailed for 5 billion won. The alleged culprits? Model Lee Ji-yeon and girl group member Da-hee. At first, people were outraged on his behalf. Their beloved star was being extorted. How dare these women try to bring him down? But as the investigation unfolded, the truth shocked the public. Lee Byung-hun had been having an affair. For months, he had been secretly meeting with Lee Ji-yeon, and things between them were far from innocent. But when he decided to cut things off, she didn't take it well. Feeling used, hurt, and discarded, she and Da-hee came up with a plan to use their private conversations as leverage to demand a huge payout. When the scandal exploded in the media, it was pure chaos. Fans turned on him. People called for his endorsements to be canceled. His career, which had seemed untouchable, was now hanging by a thread. And then there was Lee Min-jung. In the midst of all the noise, she didn't lash out publicly. She didn't go on TV to air her grievances. She didn't release any dramatic statements. Instead, she packed her bags and left. She went back to her mother's house. Meanwhile, Lee Byung-hun was scrambling to repair the damage. He made public apologies, took full responsibility for his mistakes, and, most importantly, begged his wife for forgiveness. He visited her multiple times to make amends and prove that he was willing to change. For a while, no one knew if she would take him back. Some thought she was done with him for good. Others speculated that she was weighing her options, trying to figure out what was best for her future. And then, to everyone's surprise, she chose to stay. Maybe it was love. Maybe it was the belief that people can change. Maybe it was the hope that they could rebuild what had been broken. Whatever the reason, Min-jung decided to give their marriage another chance. Against all odds, the couple weathered the storm. In 2015, they reached a new milestone when they welcomed their first child, a baby boy named Lee Jun-hoo. Parenthood marked a turning point in their relationship, and despite everything, they worked through their struggles to build a family together. Min-jung guested on the December 2nd episode of SBS's My Ugly Duckling, where she talked about her husband Byung-hun and their lovely marriage. When she was asked, "When do you feel you did a good job getting married the most?" she answered, "Since I'm an actress, in terms of work, it's nice that I can talk about work with the person that's closest to me. I like talking about those kinds of things when we're eating or drinking." Years later, life brought the couple another surprise. On December 21st, 2023, their daughter was born, completing their family and marking the beginning of yet another chapter in their eventful love story. Now, nearly a decade later, they're still together. They've built a family, and despite everything, they seem to have found their way back to happiness. Of course, the scandal isn't forgotten. It probably never will be. But what matters is that they moved past it, proving that sometimes love is messy, complicated, and full of second chances. It's not the fairy tale romance that fans once imagined, but maybe that's okay. Real love isn't always perfect. The power couple recently had netizens swooning over a sweet and humorous exchange on Instagram. Lee Byung-hun, currently filming his upcoming movie No Other Choice, took to Instagram to share his gratitude for a thoughtful gesture. Coffee and food trucks sent to the set, adorned with banners carrying supportive messages. The banners read, "Go Dad, Seo Yi is rooting for you. Go Mom, Woo Jin is rooting for you." And rooting for Lee Byung-hun and Sun Ye-jin for No Other Choice. The messages seemed to hint at the sender, making it all the more heartwarming. But what truly sent fans into a frenzy was Lee Min-jung's witty response under her husband's post. As Lee Byung-hun simply captioned the pictures with a grateful, "Thank you," his wife cheekily replied, "Don't mention it. Who knows if I used your money to send them?" The playful jab was met with laughter and admiration from fans, who praised the couple for their strong bond and lighthearted relationship. Fans have always admired the way Lee Min-jung handles things, with elegance, humor, and quiet strength. Her journey to stardom is the kind of story that keeps people rooting for her. She didn't just wake up one day and become famous. She worked her way up, step by step, proving her talent along the way. Back in 2009, she caught everyone's attention in Boys Over Flowers. She wasn't the main lead, but her role as the elegant and confident Ha Jae-kyung left an impression. Even in a drama filled with big names, she managed to stand out with her charm and screen presence. People noticed her, and that was just the beginning. That same year, she landed her first lead role in Smile You, a heartwarming family drama. She played a character that was funny, emotional, and full of life. Then came 2010, and with it, her big break in movies. Cyrano Agency, a romantic comedy about a dating agency, turned out to be a surprise hit. From then on, Lee Min-jung kept choosing interesting roles that showcased different sides of her acting. By 2014, she took on Cunning Single Lady, a drama that had a little bit of everything: romance, comedy, and a touch of heartbreak. She played Nae Ra, a woman struggling to move on from her ex-husband, only to see him suddenly become rich and successful. The drama was entertaining, and Lee brought so much life to her character. After taking a few years away from the spotlight to focus on her family, Lee returned in 2020 with, once again, a weekend drama that became a huge hit. The story focused on love, marriage, and personal growth, and her performance was widely praised. It was one of those roles where she didn't have to try too hard. She just felt relatable. Looking back, it's easy to see why Lee Min-jung has remained one of Korea's most beloved actresses. She has that rare ability to make every character feel real, whether it's a lighthearted rom-com or a heartfelt drama. And with her career still going strong, it's exciting to see what she'll do next. With a decade of marriage behind them and an ever-growing bond, Lee Byung-hun and Lee Min-jung continue to be one of Korea's most beloved celebrity couples. Their recent social media moment was a small yet beautiful glimpse into their everyday life, one filled with love, laughter, and a little bit of teasing that keeps the spark alive. Like his wife, Byung-hun's journey to becoming one of Korea's most celebrated actors didn't happen overnight. It was a steady climb, built on years of dedication, powerful performances, and a willingness to push boundaries in both Korean and international cinema. He kicked off his acting career in the early 1990s, making a name for himself in Korean television dramas. Early projects like Tomorrow Love put him on the radar, but it was clear from the start that he had the kind of screen presence that could take him far beyond just being a TV heartthrob. His big breakout moment came in 2000 with the critically acclaimed film Joint Security Area. The film not only became a massive hit in South Korea, but also gained international recognition, cementing Lee Byung-hun as a serious actor capable of carrying complex roles. From there, he continued taking on bold projects, including A Bittersweet Life, which gained recognition at the Cannes Film Festival. Byung-hun made a triumphant return to television in 2009 with the blockbuster espionage drama Iris. The series was a game-changer for Korean action dramas, featuring high-budget production, intense fight sequences, and a gripping storyline. He played Kim Hyun-jun, a top agent caught in a web of betrayal and political intrigue. The following year, he delivered one of the most chilling performances of his career in I Saw the Devil, a dark psychological thriller that pushed the boundaries of Korean cinema. His talent wasn't just limited to Korean films. In 2009, he made his first major Hollywood appearance as Storm Shadow in G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra, a role that introduced him to a global audience. He later showed his versatility again as the deadly T-1000 in Terminator Genesis, proving he could fit right into big Hollywood franchises. Despite his international success, Lee never abandoned Korean cinema. He continued delivering standout performances in major Korean productions. His role in the 2015 movie Inside Men was a significant moment in his career. He played a tough political fixer in the crime thriller, and his performance was highly praised. The movie earned him the Best Actor award at 3 of South Korea's biggest film events: the 52nd Baeksang Arts Awards, the 37th Blue Dragon Film Awards, and the 53rd Grand Bell Awards. Then came Mr. Sunshine in 2018, a sweeping historical drama that captivated audiences with its grand storytelling and emotional depth. But it was Squid Game that made him a true global star. Already well known, his role in the hit series pushed him even further into the spotlight, helping spread Korean entertainment worldwide. Today, Lee Byung-hun is not just a veteran actor, but a global icon, bridging Korea and Hollywood. Through the highs and lows, Lee Byung-hun and Lee Min-jung have continued to stand by each other. Their journey has been anything but smooth, yet they've proven that love, when given a second chance, can still find a way to endure.